Hello, my little ducklings. It's Miss Barbara. I know you can see me, but I'll probably always say that just because I do. When we had our Zoom meeting, we were talking about how Finn and Mayan both did a different ending to the Little Red Riding Hood story. And I haven't read you Mayan's yet because I wanted to get his permission that I could share it with you. So here it goes. How Little Red Riding Hood Should Have Ended by Mayan. Little Red Riding Hood was walking through the woods. Then the big bad wolf noticed, so she wasn't, I said. My mom, Little Red Riding Hood, what are you doing out there? Oh, I'm going to my grandma's house, that way. Yep, that way, pointing to the bear's house. But the wolf didn't notice what the sign said, so she believed it was Grandma's house. Little Red Riding Hood, you should probably grab some flowers for your grandma. Oh, you're right, I should. Thank you, Mr. Wolf. I'll grab some on the way. Thank you. Now I'll be heading on my way. Bye. So she walked out from the bear's directions. But then the wolves decided to cut behind, but little did he know, Little Red Riding Hood, it was a trick. At a certain point, Little Red Riding Hood turned around while she was in the forest, while the wolf didn't notice and made it to Grandma's house. And the big bad wolf met the bear's house, and she said this, "Wait, this isn't the Goldilocks story. Wait, no," and she got mauled by the bears. The moral of the story is always give wolves bad directions, and I mean always. The end. Thank you for doing that, Mayan. I appreciate it. That was very creative. I also wanted to share this paragraph that Cyrus wrote about a broad-headed skink that he saw in Missouri. I observed many things with this skink. One of the things I noticed was the broad-headed skink and other lizards were attracted to light. Another thing would be broad-headed skinks taste bad to predators. One more thing about them is that they are native to the southeastern United States. The last thing about them is they are called broad-headed skinks because of their wide jaws, which gives them a triangle-shaped head. Very informative. I like it. It's touching a little bit on our animal defense mechanisms, that they taste bad so predators don't want to eat them. Very nice, thank you. So if any of you have anything that you've been studying or doing a little research on and you want to share, you want to write something that I can share on a video, I would love to. So now we're going to read a little bit of Race to the Moonrise. Chapter 10. The days faded together as they ran east through pinyon and juniper forests and stark gray deserts. Little Basket padded along, staring at the ground as if in a daze. When they rested, she was disturbingly quiet. Not even Squawk could cheer her up. She moaned often in her sleep, but did not share her dreams. Even Longlegs' roasted rabbits did not spark her interest at mealtime. Longlegs watched the moon every night. It waned, then began to wax, and he knew they must travel even faster. He tried not to think about what the gods would do to his mother and the other villagers if he didn't get Little Basket to the ceremony by the time the next moon rose. One night, as they ran by the dim light of the half moon, the trail broadened into a wide road. I could lie across this trail 6 times, he marveled. I wonder what purpose it serves. Look, Longlegs, said Little Basket. There's a fire way up on the cliff ahead. As they passed under the cliff, Longlegs saw another fire burning faintly in the distance. The road is marked with fires, said Little Basket. Or perhaps our arrival is being signaled ahead, thought Longlegs. The two slept little that night. Rising early the next morning, they gazed down the road. It led in a straight line to the base of the cliff where a walled town larger than any Longlegs had ever seen rose from the valley floor. As they approached the huge complex, a strange feeling crept through him. It's too quiet, he said. Cautiously, they entered the doorway on the southwest side of the walled town. We enter in peace, Longlegs called. Peace, screeched Squawk from atop his pack. They peered down through the series of open doorways connecting empty rooms. We'll leave our packs here until we find someone to talk to, said Longlegs. As they walked from room to room, they saw corn grinding stones lying in the kitchen areas. It looks as if the occupants might come back any minute, Little Basket said nervously. They climbed through the stone archway. A flat rock slab covered the doorway at the top. Longlegs lifted the heavy rock aside. When they looked through the doorway, they gasped in astonishment. Look at all these underground ceremonial rooms, Little Basket whispered. They're called kivas, said Longlegs. Remember them from the Hopi village? Wait, what's that noise? They both listened. A drum, said Little Basket. Searching for the rhythmic beat of the muffled drum, they crossed the plaza. "It's coming from down here," said Longlegs as he cautiously peered down the ladder hole into the kiva. The drumbeat stopped. After a long silence, a raspy voice called out, "Chaya!" Longlegs tried to remember the language of the northern people. "I think he said come down," he told Little Basket. "I've never been in a kiva," Little Basket said. "Are you sure girls are allowed?" "Uncle told me girls are allowed for certain ceremonies in some villages. You'll be told if you're not welcome." They carefully climbed down the ladder into the blackness, choking on smoke wafting out of the hole. When his eyes adjusted to the dim firelight, Longlegs saw a thin man peering at them from a bench across the kiva. He wore a single-strand necklace, and his breechcloth was tattered and dirty. "My name is Firekeeper. What brings you children to our vacant town?" In halting phrases, Longlegs explained their mission. His intuition told him he was safe to tell this man of Little Basket's powers. He concentrated hard on the man's reply. "I may have heard of your sister. A man from your country was here many moons ago. He was from the village of many houses." Firekeeper smiled slightly at Longlegs. "He looked a lot like you. He did not mention your sister until the accident." "What accident?" blurted Longlegs. "What is he saying?" said Little Basket. "Accident!" cried Squawk from his perch on the ladder. The man continued, "The trader wanted a ceremonial turquoise necklace our people were so famous for. He said he wanted it for his daughter, but there were so few people left and nobody had any good quality turquoise. The great mine in the southwest closed years ago, about the time our priests lost the power to bring rain to the canyon." "Accident!" screeched Squawk again through the entrance hole to the kiva roof. "The trader felt sorry for us. One day he climbed the cliff east of the great house. He wanted to repair the dam that once captured the rain and diverted into our fields. He thought if he fixed the dam, the gods might be kind and send rain." Little Basket nudged Longlegs. He gave her an understanding nod and a look and said, "Be patient." Firekeeper continued, "While he was carrying a large rock up the cliff to the old dam, he slipped. He fell a long way. My family took care of him, but he was never quite right after that." Firekeeper looked at Little Basket. "He kept telling us that his daughter had great powers and the gods responded to her offering. He said she could help us." "He could be our father," said Longlegs. "Where is he now?" "One day he disappeared. Soon after that, almost everyone in the entire canyon and beyond moved away, even my family. Just a few of us remain. I stay to guard the kivas in the great house. The fire guards light fires from the cliffs above the road to warn me of approaching strangers." "Do you have many visitors?" "Hardly any, until yesterday. A strange and sinister man came looking for 3 travelers. He frightened me, but I admired his necklaces. He agreed to trade one of them." He held up a familiar-looking string of beads. Longlegs walked over to the man and studied the necklace. It was the purple shells, and after every 3rd bead was a bead of turquoise. "I haven't seen turquoise in a long time," Firekeeper sighed. "Where did this man go?" asked Longlegs nervously. "I don't know what direction he went. When I told him that I had seen no one in many moons, he said he'd find them anyway." "We must leave now," said Longlegs. "If Little Basket is not at Finger Rocks when the full moon rises between them, more people than just Little Basket and I will suffer. From what your father said, your sister may be able to help my people still living in the far north. I'll travel with you to Finger Rocks." Firekeeper packed some dried rabbit meat in a tattered cloth and was ready. Longlegs and Little Basket retrieved their packs and the trio headed north on a wide straight road. "I'd almost forgotten about the man that was following us," said Little Basket when Longlegs told her about the kiva conversation. "Oh, Longlegs, do you think Father might still be alive somewhere? He won't know how to find his way home." Scrubby pinyon and juniper trees lined the road. The 3 travelers slept only in the heat of the afternoon in sheltered areas away from the trail. After 3 days, Longlegs noticed the fields again. Young boys scurrying from the field houses. They yelled at the crows and ravens that were pecking on the young cobs of colorful corn. "The large village that replaced ours is the new center of power up ahead along the river," said Firekeeper. When they entered the plaza, Longlegs was amazed at the variety of people. "Many have traveled far to attend the Moonrise," said Firekeeper. "This is the last major town on their route. They might have a ceremony in the Great Kiva here tonight to celebrate the forthcoming Moonrise at Finger Rocks. I'm sure you and Little Basket could attend." That night, Longlegs marveled at the size of the Great Kiva as he listened to the pounding of the huge foot drums. Firekeeper lamented, "We have a kiva larger than this across the canyon from the great house where you found me. Many of our older priests you see here tonight used to sing there. Only the wind sings there now. He stared sadly at the floor. Longlegs noticed that Little Basket was gazing, transfixed, into the fire. She murmured strange words in a low, eerie voice. Her eyes closed, and she slumped against him. The gods are already taking her, he thought. I wish we could go straight to Finger Rocks instead of the place of the cliff dwellers. It is so out of the way. Little Basket is getting so weak. He picked her up and carried her outside. Finding the camp where visitors stayed, he placed her on a sleeping pad. She chanted the strange words in her sleep. Longlegs looked at the moon. In 9 days, the moon will be full, he thought. I hope Little Basket doesn't get worse, he said softly to Squawk. That is the end of chapter 10. So soon we'll read chapter 11, and we're almost done. We just have a couple more chapters of this book. But I found lots of other really cool books that I want to read to you. And we'll get there. We've got lots of time. All right, until next time, sending you lots and lots of love, and I wish you well.